welcome out to tonight's meeting. Sorry we're getting off to a little bit of a slow start. So we'll get right into this real quick, and we'll try to get through some of the club business real quick. First of all, we'll have Carl, before he sits down, he'll get us going with some of the upcoming events.
We appreciate Sage and Plow accommodating us. I want to say that up front. I mean, hear that? So they had an event here a couple weeks ago where, or was it last weekend, weekend before last? They had an emergency preparedness fair here and stuff, and I know some of you have been here and helped out with that, and introduced people to ham radio and stuff like that. Bring your business here when you got to do emergency preparedness stuff, and bring your business here. I was just taking my box back. I'm recycling. We're members of the root beer club, and they got every kind of root beer in the world. They got an acre of root beer back here. Every kind of root beer in the world here. You can mix and match their cases and stuff. You name it. Anyway, it's pretty good. Among other things, they got a lot of other good stuff. Okay, back to the ham radio business. What do I got here? I got to hit the space bar. There we go. You know, right after our next meeting in June is going to be the 7-6 barbecue. Right after our next meeting. The Saturday right after our next meeting here. Okay, that's June 7th, 10 a.m. to 2 up here at Highland Glen Park. Lynn has secured that for us on that date. I know that it doesn't accommodate everybody's schedule, but this happens every year. We'll provide the chicken. We'll have a raffle. I got 3 brand new radios here being programmed. We'll have 3 antennas. We'll have a J-pole. We'll have a GMRS antenna available, like the one that's up here on the table. And we'll have an HF antenna. I think Jody's making us an HF antenna, and we're going to use that at the GOTA station so you can check it out before you win it. So the raffle, we give our 7-6ers free ticket, and if you want to increase your chances, you can buy more tickets, and that's how we sponsor that, because the 7-6ers is not a club. We don't have any money in our coffers. That's how we pay for the chicken. So I know a lot of people have been here for that in the past. I don't know how many years we've been having fun with that. This year, I saw Stan. There's Stan. We're bringing the barbecue, right, Stan? The big barbecue, and we're cooking on site this year. So that'll be fun, because before I was doing it all the night before, it was getting too much. I'm getting old. Anyway.
You'll be retired by then.
I'm going to retire. Retiring.
The reason why that's on.
Because
it's not plugged in.
It's not plugged in. I'm retiring in 74 days. I turned 70 last December, and I'm retiring 74 days. We were just giving you the applause for accommodating us tonight. We appreciate that, and we're going to push all our business we can here.
Thank you.
We appreciate that.
You know, there's a story in the Bible about this.
It
doesn't end well.
I didn't expect that. Ted, shame on you. Put that hand out here. All right. Beyond that, what do we have? The ice cream social is scheduled for Saturday, September the 6th at 1 p.m. at Leatherby's in Orem. And that's always a good event. We usually have 40, 50 people there at least for that. And it's buy your own ice cream, but everybody comes and has a good time. That's my yearly banana split. Anyway, yeah. My yearly banana split. I get carried away every year. Other than that, I want to do one more off-the-cuff introduction here. How many of you, and I know the people that do, how many of you have ever frequented the Jackson Hole Area Amateur Radio Club net? Okay. Okay, Mick, I want you to notice, keep those hands up. Mick, I want you to notice how many people have frequented that net. Mick is with us tonight from Wyoming. If you haven't met Mick, he had some business to take care of down here in Salt Lake today, and then he has to stay till tomorrow. So he said, can I come to the club meeting tonight? And so he's here. And so anybody that wants to get to know Mick, he's got to teach a class one more Monday up in Jackson. And Leo's still taking it this week, but he will be back with the fold he'll be back with the fold here the following Monday. So every Monday, 8 o'clock, Jackson Hole, I connect up, myself or Chad will connect up the Dallas reflector, and we connect up to Jackson Hole, and there's our net control right there, Mick. So thank you for being here, Mick. Joe, you're up. I drug my feet as much as I could. Oh. No, you don't really want to hear from Joe.
All right, so the big thing coming up.
Wait a minute. You can't do that.
Hello, can you hear me?
You can.
All right, so the big event we got coming up this summer field day, Saturday the 28th to Sunday the 29th. Trout Creek location, same place we've had it for the past 4 years, I think it's been. Wow, it's been a while. This year's potluck is going to be spaghetti. We're going to have a spaghetti dinner. That'll be at 5 p.m. on Saturday. I'll be up there on the 19th until the end of field day, so if you want to bring your trailers up and all that stuff and park them up there sometime during the week or that weekend, feel free. We'll keep an eye on them.
Meatballs?
What's that?
Gonna have meatballs?
No meatballs.
What?
Hamburger. I'm not making meatballs.
I'll do meatballs.
You bring meatballs in. We already got the spaghetti sauce and the spaghetti. We hit the K-slot sales.
Gotta have meatballs. I'll bring them.
And yeah, we didn't buy Billy Bob's cheap spaghetti sauce either. All right, so then, what's that? And then the Ham Radio Fair, July 17th at the Pheasant Brook Park. This is like the fourth year we've done it, fourth or fifth year. It's a great thing to get out and see radios all being used and the different ideas that people use. It's a pretty fun event. Let me see who's next.
For those who missed field day.
Yeah, for those who don't miss field day. Field day is the greatest time. Does anybody not know where Trout Creek is? It's north of Strawberry Reservoir. Yeah, we're north of Trout Creek. We're out in the middle of nowhere. We always take the spot that nobody else wants to camp on because we were getting crowded out at all the other good places we had. So we come up there. Starts from noon to noon on Saturday, noon on Sunday. We start setting up the day before, right? We start setting up the day before. I know Carl always brings his trailer up. My trailer will be digital. Do we have another trailer?
Yeah, we have one.
Club trailer.
What's that?
Club trailer.
I said Carl will bring the club trailer.
And my trailer and my son's trailer.
For operating?
Oh, sorry.
Because we always put Chad in my trailer with the digital. And whose trailer are we using? What's the third trailer? Do we know who?
I don't remember.
Okay. If you volunteer, let Noji know again.
I'll volunteer a trailer.
All right. So we got 3 trailers. So we'll put a voice in one, voice in the other, and digital in my trailer. Let me see anything else. What's that?
Don't forget me. CW?
Oh, yeah. We love you too, Ralph. you do the old man's digital. All right. So is Gavin here?
Just saying. And I didn't say.
Okay, Gavin's here. Gavin's not here, so I'll step in for him. Utah County Amateur Radio Emergency Service. They have a net on Tuesday night. That's the frequency. Go to ucares.org to learn more. They have to be part of UCARES. They have different qualification levels. I know they're doing the Orem Fun Fest?
Yeah, the
Orem Fest, and I know they got a bunch of people out there for fireworks, and they're giving them coats and turnouts, all that stuff to be down there. And then let me see what else. How to join? Go to ucares.org. It'll tell you how to join. I know I do the Kachina Mosa race with them. This weekend I'm doing the Salt Flats 100-mile run. I'm not running. I'm just being a radio communications. All right, Sean, you're next. Sean, I know you're running. There you go. Turn it over to Sean. What's that?
I'm hiding.
You're hiding. Can't hide very long. There you go.
I'll just hold it. I won't be that long. All right. Whoop, not quite. These are our brand new hams for this month. Yay, give them a hand. Okay, any of our new hams here today by any chance?
They're stuck in traffic too.
That or the other place. It's one of the 6. Okay. Did we miss anybody that's a new ham by any chance?
Yeah, last month we got a whole slew of them.
Yeah.
And we they weren't able to make the meeting, so here you are.
Okay. And here are our upgrades. Let's give them a big hand. Okay. There's, whoa, stand up. Yay. And your name and call sign?
I'm Tiffany.
Okay.
The one that you can't pronounce.
Triffany? Triffany.
That's 3 times as good as Tiffany.
Yeah. Okay, any others here? All right, and one last thing. Do we have anybody that is new to our meeting today?
Yes.
Okay, this is our chance.
Well, this is Kevin Westmer. I'm actually in Billings, Montana, but I'm visiting the area for a week, the Salt Lake area, and I wanted to come down. Now, some of you may know me from years before. I know that Noji knows me. I've actually spent time at his house. He's got a wonderful setup. I've been in radio. I worked at K-Talk Radio in South Jordan for a while. Did sales. I did an on-air host, an on-air talk show for once a month. And I'm a podcaster. I do a podcast called Rocky Mountain Freedom Zone, if you are ever so interested.
All right.
I am a ham operator. My call sign is KG7NJG.
All right. And somebody else, we had a couple of other people that are new. Loud.
Hi, I'm Parker. No call signs. Just still looking to getting into the radio. I'm doing EMT training right now, and they said that this would be a fun thing or a good thing to have. And when I lived in Iowa, a lot of my neighbors were in it, and I was super interested in it. But then life happened, never had the chance. But I have a car now, so I decided I'd come here.
All right. Yay. Okay. And.
Hi.
Okay. Whoa. Let me slide around.
I'm Jessica, and my call sign is KG7RZV, and I am a high school biology teacher. But,
Good. That's what I was.
yeah, cool. That's awesome.
All right. What? And this is Carl. He's new.
This is my wife Phyllis. For those who didn't,
I've been here before.
no, you haven't been to the club meeting before, but
Yeah, I have.
everybody knows her. Everybody knows her from field day and other things. Anyway, she's enlightening us with herself tonight.
Yay.
She does have a call sign too, but I can't remember what it is. KI7JWS.
Okay. Are you doing the introduction, Nochi?
Thanks. So this is Scott Rosenbush. Most of you probably don't know this guy, but what you probably do know about is Elmering, okay? And Elmering is simply a mentoring, a person who is a mentor to you, who kind of shows you the ropes and think, hey, Bill, Art, around ham radio and so forth. That person is, in ham radio, we affectionately call that person an Elmer. I won't go into the history of that word, but at any rate, Kathy. Oh, you're not Kathy. You're Diane.
Yes.
Diane. The other Kathy, sorry. Good to see you. Anyway, mentoring and Elmering can be really, really tricky sometimes, and it can be a lot of fun. I know when I help people get into ham radio and talk about it, set up antennas, show them how to program stuff, it's a lot of fun, but it can get a little, tricky, like I say, and we run into problems, and it's fun to solve these problems. But here we have with us today Scott Rosenbush, K7HSN, I believe? HSR. I'm off by one letter. And he's like an Elmer of Elmers. If anyone has ever been taught by ham a ham radio guy. This guy was as a teacher. However, he's not going to talk about the usual Elmering of things, because he's going to talk about more of the lighter side of Elmering. And anyway, Scott has come from a long line of ham radio duties and operations and things throughout the years. And I heard his presentation once at another club meeting, at another club, and I enjoyed it. So I thought, I'll invite him here, see if he causes any trouble. So here he is. Anyway, Scott Rosenbush.
Thank you, Noji, very
Thank you
much.
so much.
Well, like a lot of you, I have learned ham radio stuff, sometimes the hard way, and sometimes the easy way. Usually when you learn from an Elmer, it's much easier. And I'm going to share a little bit about my journey in ham radio with you, share a couple of stories, and hopefully I will encourage some of you who have not yet been Elmers to do so, and those of you who have not yet asked for help to also do so. So I've been a ham radio operator for only about 3 years. Unlike a lot of you who have been doing this since you were youngsters, I started ham radio in the 60s, not the 1960s. And I've been encouraged by a lot of people, and I want to thank them in advance, but you'll get some of that message as I go along. So what has the ride been like? My original motivation in getting involved in ham radio was EMCOM, Emergency Communications. I'm sure a lot of you have either started that way or ended up working on EMCOM. But what I learned very quickly is that there's a lot of rabbit holes in ham radio. And I'm going to thank Noji, and I gave him credit on the slide. This came from your website. There are just innumerable areas of interest in ham radio that one can follow. One of the first things I learned when I got involved was the importance of Elmers. Experienced ham radio operators who are willing to share their experience, their expertise with those of us who don't know yet what we're doing. The thing about an Elmer is you don't have to be a new ham to either be one or need one. Because if you get into one of these new rabbit holes, you may have been on the air for decades. But if all of a sudden somebody says FT8 or Parks on the Air or mesh networking or a myriad of other things, you're like, what is that about? And the fastest way to learn about one of those rabbit holes is to ask somebody else who's already been down that road and already made all their mistakes. I mean, already learned what it takes to do that particular thing. Most of you are old enough to remember Paul Harvey. For those of you who aren't old enough, and there's a couple of you in the room, Paul Harvey was a radio talk show host who had a daily or weekly show called The Rest of the Story. And he would give you a headline, and then he would tell you all of the background behind that story and where it really came from. Well, I'm going to share a couple of Paul Harvey moments with you. One of the things Elmers don't tell you, and you have to learn this on your own, is that amongst ham radio operators, there are distinct opinions on which brand of ham radio is best. Some of you agree, huh? So much so that I compare it to a religion. Now, it's not enough. Well, let me back up. There are at least 3 or 4 major ham radio brand religions. And it's not enough to believe in just one radio brand. I love the religious analogy. So let me rephrase it a way that you might appreciate. It's not enough just to be Christian and share the same God with other Christians. You have to have a more narrow focus. Maybe it's DMR, maybe it's System Fusion, maybe it's some other D-Star, and that becomes a religion for certain ham radio operators. Elmers don't tell you this. So when you ask them for advice, you have to understand what their predisposition is. And I'll illustrate this with a story. When I was looking for my first ham radio, I was researching which UHF, VHF radio to get. Two of my Elmers here in Salt Lake said, don't buy that brand. Well, you know what happened, right? I bought the radio. And one of them won't let me forget it. P.S. It's a darn good radio. I'm not going to mention the brand.
Oh, come on.
Well, hang on. There's more to come. One more Paul Harvey moment. When I was brand spanking new to ham radio, I was of the opinion that I'd get my license and I would get a radio. You're hearing the experience in the room. Okay. After all, why wouldn't one radio be sufficient, right? That lasted about a nanosecond after I started getting involved, and of course, I now have a collection of UHF, VHF, HTs, etc. And to follow up on that, I now belong to 3 of the major religions in ham radio brands. No, I'm still missing a 4th, but okay. So how have Helmers helped me in my journey along the way in ham radio? My friend and first Elmer loaned me an HT. And she came to my house, and I made my first QSO from my front porch with her help. She saw I liked it. So she loaned me a mobile rig. And she gave me a J-pole, which is still on my roof. I was hooked. Another Elmer, let me see him. Another Elmer arranged to give me an HF rig and a power supply. Gave me. Now, to be fair, he said, I don't know if it works. It's an older radio, it's an older power supply. Don't know if it works. Neither of them worked. I'm not that handy. I certainly wasn't then, and I opened them up, I looked, I said, no, not me. So I put it back together, and he put a call out. And another of his ham friends donated another HF radio to me. A Yaesu 857. For those of you who know, this is a shack in the box. This is VHF, HF, UHF, all in one little radio, which is very, very portable. That and a loaned dipole, strung it up between 2 trees, and I'm on the HF airwaves. Shortly after getting on HF, another Elmer introduced me to FT8. How many have been down that rabbit hole? Okay, quite a few of you.
Is that the only one?
Obviously not. In less than 3 years, mostly on FT8, but a fair bit of voice sideband, I have over 9,000 contacts in my log, and 188 different countries in my log. Now, just to back up a minute, for those of you who aren't DXers or people who chase international contacts, there's only 195 countries in the United Nations. But in ham radio, there's like 350 countries. Alaska's a country, Hawaii's a country, every single rock in the South Pacific is a country, right? Just about? Anyway, so within the ham radio world, there's like 350 countries to go after. I may be off by one or two, but you get the idea. I've got more than half of them. I'm a little behind on my slides here, so bear with me. I get kind of excited and wrapped up in what I'm doing, and I don't follow the script as closely as I should. I'm missing one. To be fair, sometimes luck has something to do with our success at ham radio. My Elmers and others have told me that I am particularly fortunate at my QTH. Ted has been to my home. I don't know if anybody else here has, but I am just below the elevation of Ensign Peak in Salt Lake City. I am 5,300 feet, 1,000 feet above the Salt Lake Valley. So I can reach the valley and beyond on a dipole. Right? I had my DXCC, my 100 international contacts on that wired dipole. Oops. Remind you of some people? If you're here with your spouse, does your spouse agree with this? Remember that broken radio I told you about? Well, the guy who gave it to me was talking with a ham in West Valley City on the intertie. And he was not on HF yet. And my friend who lives part-time outside of Las Vegas in Pahrump, Nevada said, gee, you should call Scott. He's in Salt Lake City. He's got this power supply and radio that don't work, and I'm sure he'd be happy to give them to you if you think you can make them work. And long story short, Ray Smith, KK7LAT, made that radio work, made the power supply work. I passed on to him an end-fed halfway antenna kit, and I hear him most weeks on the 10-meter net in Salt Lake City. So you never know. Just because it doesn't work for you doesn't mean it won't work for somebody else. The other thing is, if you're a pack rat, you'll make a good ham radio operator. Never throw anything away. Okay, now it's my turn to apologize to the spouses, right? Oops. Somebody else introduced me to Parks on the Air. How many of you do Parks on the Air? POTA? Only a couple. Okay. I call it, when I talk to non-ham radio people, I tell them Parks on the Air is like a game. It trains us to know how to use our radios and our equipment portable. And from my perspective, that's great training for MCOM. You need to know what works, what doesn't work, how long is it going to work, how far can you get from some remote location which isn't your QTH, it isn't your home base. So I like POTA for that, and I think it's good training for MCOM. Now, I also sit at home, like a lot of us do, and I hunt parks. And I've hunted over 2,700 parks from my QTH. And not all in the US. I've got them in Canada, obviously, New Zealand, Australia, Europe, the Caribbean. So Parks on the Air is a lot of fun. It's a very short QSO. Its name, signal report, where you're located, and you're done. And a 73 and on to the next one. If it's FT8, you know how short FT8 is. It's 15 seconds on and 15 seconds off, and if you make a contact immediately, in a minute and a half, you're done. I mentioned those rabbit holes. I haven't pursued all of them. I'm retired and I don't have time to pursue all of them. But now I'm trying to learn CW. And Ted's not going to let up on me until I get it right. But again, he's a good mentor. Know who's interested in certain things that you might be interested in and ask them. In my experience, ladies and gentlemen, Elmering works. And it works for both sides, the Elmer and the student. You don't have to be an expert. You just have to know something that somebody else doesn't yet know and be willing to share your time and your expertise to help them learn. So I want to say thank you. But I want to put a particular plug in here for Noji. And you all may not know how lucky you are.
We know.
Well, I'm glad you do. Congratulations on you. As I started my journey, I went to Noji's website regularly and still do from time to time and still read the Dear Annette column in your newsletter. I wonder where some of those questions come from. But it's great information. You have it at your fingertips. Thank you, not just to Noji, but to all of you who have been Elmers, to all of you who will be Elmers in the future. Our hobby is built on it. The way to continue our hobby is to teach young and old people new things. Never stop learning. It's worth it. I'm happy to take any questions that you have, either about me or Elmering or my journey. Anybody? Yes, sir.
What is QHT?
QHT is your home location. QTH, excuse me. QTH. It's a Morse code abbreviation for your home location. Sorry about that. I fall into. Yes, sir. Parks on the Air it's actually a very organized game. I call it a game. Look up parksontheair.org. And you will see that in the United States there are over 10,000 listed parks. I don't know the closest one to here, but there's at least 2 close to my home at the University of Utah, and also at This Is the Place Park in Salt Lake City. Yes, sir.
There's one right by the Jordan River. That's probably the closest one.
Okay, there you go. So what happens is a ham radio operator goes to the park and calls CQ, meaning I'm open for contact for anybody who wants to talk to me. And then people from home try to reach and make contact with that person in the park.
Or other parks.
Or other parks. It can be park to park as well. You get extra points. Yes, sir.
I was just going to say, probably the closest one here to American Fork is there's one at American Fork Canyon.
There you go. Some are easier to get to. Some are very, very difficult to get to. I tried to do one in Mill Creek Canyon a couple of weeks ago, and there was still snow on the trail, so I gave up.
I
Carl.
wanted to say, you'll hear the term PODA a lot. PODA is Parks on the Air. You'll also hear the term
It's just the abbreviation.
SOTA, Summits on the Air. You'll also hear the word GOTA, that's
Get on the air.
Get on the Air.
Get on the air. And there's also IOTA, Islands on the Air.
Islands on the Air.
What about
anytime you hear that PODA,
Walmart parking lots on the air?
That is a thing. I don't get it, and you get extra points if you do it from a shopping cart. But Walmart parking lots on the air is a thing. I'll pass on that. Yes, sir. Well, there is a game within ham radio similar to geocaching. We call it fox hunting. That's just another one of those rabbit holes. I haven't gone down that rabbit hole yet.
You win awards for how many parks you activate. You win awards for how many parks you hunt. It's a great big award system.
And
Or it means certificate you can hang on your wall.
or not. Yes, Carl.
After the emergency prep thing here, Jody, who was giving a class here, has an antenna, a magnetic antenna that has a spike in it. He can magnetize it to like a light pole. He went out here to the light pole outside this building and made I don't know how many HF contacts by tuning up a light pole with a magnetic antenna.
I love it.
He'd tell you about it if he was here, but you can do things like that portable.
And again,
When he told me about that night, I says, "You mean we could go tune up the Golden Gate Bridge?" He goes, "Let's go."
just bring your tuner. Bring your tuner. Yes, sir.
Talk about all the countries that you've contacted and that kind of thing. What about what's not on the Earth? How many people have made contact with the International Space Station?
I have not personally.
I have multiple times. I was also the only Wyoming contact for his work all states.
Well, I'll tell you what. There are, in my experience, this is just my own personal experience. There are not a lot of ham radio operators in Wyoming. So when one ham confirmed me on Logbook of the World, I got my work to all 50 states.
I also had a student, and his very first contact was the space station.
Wow. So I'll call on you in a second. Going back to the space station. What's the name of the ham radio club up north in Logan?
In Linden?
No, Logan.
Logan. Mark?
Bark. Bark. Bridgerland, thank you. Bridgerland worked with a school in Tooele last year. They made application to do a school contact with the ISS. They applied for and got a grant. They got support from DX Engineering. They got beautiful equipment. Bark helped them install antennas up on the roof of the school, run the coax down to the classroom, and then later down into, they went outdoors for the day of, into the auditorium, and they had something like 20 students talking to the ISS because the window was only open for 7 or 8 minutes. The space station passes by, and again, we're dealing with the Oquirrh Mountains and the Wasatch Mountains, and so we only had a 7 or 8 minute window for comms.
You got more than I did.
Okay, and they had about 20 kids talking to the ISS and getting responses to their questions, and at least half of them got their ham license from their classwork.
There was a school contact last week from the ISS.
There you go.
145.8.
It's very, very exciting. Yes, sir. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to ignore you.
One of the things that when I was researching how to get into ham radio, one of the first things that really got me excited was a video of somebody contacting the ISS and being told welcome aboard. And it was like,
oh yeah. I know guys who do Earth, Moon, Earth bounds. So and it's usually with a handheld antenna, and they're bouncing their signal off of the moon and back to the other side of the Earth and making contacts. There's somebody here locally who has over 50,000 contacts off the moon. Yes, sir.
So, I'm wanting to know what your secret is. I've been chasing DXCC for several years now. I'm up to about 66 countries, about 42 of them confirmed.
Yes.
So I wanted to know what your secret is.
FT8.
Wait. In a hex beam.
Well, all right. No, I had the DXCC.
His house, he'll put you to work, and to put up my antenna. If you have a good antenna, lots of power and time, DXCC is a piece of cake. I got
the money part.
Off-center fit dipole. It just takes time.
I got my DXCC before we put the hex beam up. Spider beam. So FT8 was my secret.
Okay.
All right. And
on every service that you can get your hands on.
That's what I was just going to ask about, because I was going to shed some tears as well about the confirmation part. Very few of my international contacts have confirmed.
I run about 75% confirmation.
I got about 50%, and I can tell you the secret.
Hello, TW.
Almost everybody, especially international, has their email address on their QRZ page. This is one of my, contact them and say, I made a contact with you, could you confirm? And they will either say no or yes or ignore you, but at least you tried.
Yeah, and that's a good way to go.
And that's the way I had to get mine. And the last couple was terrible. I was just, but once I got that 100, I relaxed.
Yeah.
life was good after that. But I know what you're going through.
But when I did that with 100 contacts on all bands, now I'm working on my 5-band DXCC.
And to go to his questions a minute ago, when you get on ham radio, everybody thinks the handheld. When you're way past that and you get on HF, she can tell you. The first time I talked to Europe and made a contact with Europe, I came flying up the stairs. Go, I just talked to France. I can't believe it. I just finally got.
I did the exact same thing.
Or when I talked to Indonesia, I just got 8,000 miles. I can't believe it. You talk about the thrill going up your leg and stuff. I got that. Okay. And when you talk about these long distance contacts with the ISS, wait till you talk to an airplane or a train or a bicycle or I don't know how many ships I've talked to. And every time I get a thrill out of all those, and then I send them the QSL card and get a response. And I get a thrill at the mailbox when I pick up that QSL card. So you get a thrill every inch of the way. And my history teacher in high school, when I flunked out 3 times, he'd be so proud of me. I know more about the world now from my QSL cards and from my contacts than I ever learned in class.
I learned more geography from ham radio than I did in school.
Only took him 70 years, right?
Absolutely. Any other questions?
What about if you're the aeronautical mobile?
Oh, yeah.
I've been there before.
There you go. Yes, sir.
DMR. I've got this radio and I need to get it programmed for this area.
Talk to Noji. I can't. I would love to help you, but I can't. Another rabbit hole I haven't gone down yet. You've all been very kind with your time. Thank you so much for listening. I'll be here. Thank you.
Thanks again to Scott. He did a wonderful job for us, and we're glad he faced the traffic to come down and do this for us. So let's give him one more round of applause. All right, we're going to do door prizes now. Has anybody not got a ticket? So we've got a J-pole.
Mystery box.
This is a battery.
Headlamp.
All right, a headlamp.
Retivas.
Transceiver.
Signal stick.
We got a signal stick, a club flashlight, ARRL membership.
And that's
Is the little yellow thing over there? Is that? That is going as well. Okay. And also a digi-rig. So you can pick out any of those.
Digi-Pi, not a digi-rig.
Oh, Digi-Pi. Sorry, Digi-Pi. Yes.
What is it? It's like a TNC.
Okay. All right, Jackson, you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay, here, I'll hold the bucket. I'll stir them up so you can't cheat.
Oh, come on.
All right.
Pick the blue ones.
Thank you.
Still have to get it.
We have a Pockris J pole.
Yeah, he went through those.
I already went through them all.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
No, you should tell me that.
Oh, I thought you were listening.
I will pay attention. I need that digipole. 285.
285. Mick. What do you want, Mick?
You get the
We've got the J-pole. This is apparently a headlamp. Got an ARRL 1-year membership. Yeah, I didn't think
I
so.
think you should get the digipole.
A handheld radio. Probably not, huh?
Probably not.
We got the club flashlight. It's got our name on it.
Flashlights are pretty awesome, actually.
Yeah.
Very bright.
A signal stick, and then the Digi-Pi.
move on to somebody else if you would, please.
Okay.
Thank you.
311.
311. Stan. How do you do this? You always win.
You should give me the DigiPie, you know? Just saying.
I'm afraid that's above my
Your pay level?
yeah. Well, here, I'll take this, and if somebody needs one
Give it
later
away.
on, I'll donate it.
All right, he took the transceiver.
133.
133. Oh, Don. Take the flashlight, all right. Okay, next one.
140.
140. So we got the antenna, a membership, a headlight, or the DigiPie.
Or the other. Yes.
Or the J-pole, yeah. Okay, here's the instructions for it. Sorry, you didn't get it.
It's okay. 150.
150, 150.
One away from.
A blue ticket.
Blue 150.
150 going once, twice, it's gone.
What number is it? You've got 161.
Okay. 152.
152.
Come on, Jackson. Fix that thing up, will you?
152?
I got a question, Jack. Can I have that hat?
No. It's a religious thing, I hear.
I thought it was political.
287.
287.
Did I already call that one?
That might be me. Oh, I'm 281. Okay. We got the two antennas or the headlight. There you go. Oh, see, now you're just throwing somebody's out.
I'll mix it again. 138.
138. All right, come on up. We got two antennas in the membership.
Two antennas?
Take the J-pole. Take the J-pole. Your dad will love it for it.
283.
283. What do you want? You got an antenna or a membership?
I'll take the membership.
Sweet.
Thank you.
Just fill that out and give it to Noji before you leave.
I wouldn't.
Okay, and for the antenna.
That's a child correctional, what do they call it?
Yeah, Brent calls it a child correctional device.
302.
302. All right. Okay, and I think.
Chad, I shouldn't take this. Why don't you pull another ticket?
Okay, let's pull another ticket.
Jason, pull another one.
Jackson.
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 Action Jackson.
Here, I got another ticket.
311.
You already called
You already
that.
called that
I
one.
did?
That was
Yes.
the first one. Or the second one.
That was Stan.
Oh yeah, it was Stan.
Oh, yeah.
155.
155.
Blue.
Blue 155.
155. Okay, try it again.
Oh, I should. Whatever.
155. Oh.
155.
Might have been one of the extras. 315.
315. All right, here you go. There's paper in there you can fill out, give it to Noji, and we'll get you signed up. I'm sure you would, but I know you wouldn't trade me for that one. All right, because we moved locations, we're not eating at Apollo Burger anymore. But we're gonna go over to JCW's. It's right up here on State Street, right that way. And if you are so inclined to come and enjoy a burger or a shake with us, please meet us there.
What time?
Yes, right as soon as you can get there from here. Again, we want to thank everybody from Sage and Plow, especially for hosting this last minute. They're such great people. Give them your support. And as always, Trevor doing the behind the scenes so that he gets this out on Facebook and live streaming it, and does a great job for us as well. And thanks you all for coming out. I think we can leave all the chairs and stuff where they're at. Just try and clean up, make sure we leave it nice for the good folks here. And yeah.
I know some people contacted me about antennas. I've got J-poles and I've got whoever ordered antennas here, so you need a J-pole or something.
Yep, so talk to Carl if you wanted a J-pole. Okay, thanks for coming out. We'll see you over at JCW's.